I'll give you my biasy pick, and the ticker says it all. The New York Yankees are getting their 28th World Series. We are. It's going to be against the Atlanta Braves. It's going to be against the Atlanta Braves. The New York Yankees will get 28 this year. Aaron Judge, Juan Soto, Alex Verdugo, the best outfielding core and the whole MLB is going to carry our offense. The New York Yankees will get that 28th World Series against the Atlanta Braves.
Biased, I got my Giants going to World Series. Let's be real. We're both going to talk about our teams. Let's be real. We finally made some freaking moves. I'm loving the offseason. I love the Blake Snell pickup. We got an amazing 1-2 punch with pitching. I think we can make some moves in the playoffs. Watch out for the Giants.
All About the Balls podcast with Mark Davis, Jake Winnikine, and Nick the Doc Skirkowitz. Welcome to All About the Balls podcast. I'm Mark Davis, and I'm excited to be in the Sack House because this is a first inaugural episode of our baseball weekly talk that we're going to do. I'm joined alongside tonight, Jake Winnikine, and normally Doc will be on here for baseball. This actually was kind of his and Jake's idea. Doc was pushing this for almost a year now. We've had the show for nearly a year. Jake kind of was talking about it when he wasn't yet part of the family. He was talking about we should be doing this. A lot of baseball podcasts would be a good hit, and we finally have done it. The baseball season's starting just days away, and I'm excited. This is my pastime, like America's pastime. This is what I grew up playing before I was a football guy. But Jake, how are you doing as we are about to kick off the MLB season?
Oh yeah. Hello, everyone. Definitely excited to be back in the Sack House. Ready for my Giants to take the field in some games that count. Would like to say Ohtani's guilty. Don't care what anyone says.
Yeah. Who do the Giants kick off with this season?
We actually have – good question.
Because my Yankees, you see the hat, we kick off a 4-game road series with the Houston Astros. So a little bit of bad blood kicking off the season right there with the Astros and the Yankees. So, and if you're watching, the flag behind me, that will be taken down after the NFL draft. That will be a New York Yankees flag behind me. I still rocking the Falcons just because of the draft season, but it will be an NY right there behind me for the whole remainder of the baseball season until football starts. Actually,
we got the Padres.
Oh, a little division rivalry as well. So you guys start off with a little bit of bad blood, and it's not the Dodgers, but
Dodgers are one of those teams. Series.
Oh yeah, I don't know who I know we're on the road our first two, so I forgot we played the second series kicking off, but we have the Astros 4-game series, and in MLB the show right now, I'm 3-0 against the Astros. I'm about to go for a 4-game sweep. I actually had to pause it and save it. It was in the middle of the game. I was getting tired, so I paused it. But
I saw you. I saw it online. It said MLB. I saw you online.
And started a franchise with the Yankees. But before we kick off the show, before we start talking actual baseball, the ticker down below, if you're watching, if you're listening, Twitter and IG at the Sack House. Like I said, always search All About the Balls podcast. And on TikTok, it's at _the Sack House, or just search All About the Balls podcast. Like I said, it's not hard to miss. It's a football in the middle, it's a baseball on the left, and it's a basketball on the right in neon colors with All About the Balls podcast. And there, like I said, follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and iHeart. And we have been going live. Like I said, thank you, Tony, for the 99 stars on Facebook. And like I said, we're going live for next week. We're going to do an NFL draft expectation video because the draft is less than 1 month away. We'll be in April after Easter. And then we'll be going live for our mock draft and, of course, the draft watch along. But, Jake, it's not football talk, but we have to plug it in. It is baseball talk. And, I don't think there's any better way to start the show with the preview of this season than the team that maybe made the loudest splash in free agency or the winter, meetings essentially. And that's the Los Angeles Dodgers. They've already kicked off the season. They're 1-1. They played the Padres in South Korea, but they signed Yamamoto to a $300+ million deal. And of course, Shohei Ohtani to a $700 million, which $680 will be deferred until the end of the year. So the question is, for the past, I don't know, like I've been saying since Manny Ramirez was there, I can't remember what years, 08 or 07. And I know they won the COVID year, but is it typical Los Angeles Dodgers where they bust in the playoffs, or do they finally win a World Series that's not a COVID season?
I hope they crash and burn so hard. I mean, that's me as a Dodger hater, but looking on that, from the outside, they got a stacked roster. I mean, it's going to take a major choke job for this team not to win. They got the pitching. I mean, obviously Yamamoto has not looked elite yet, but I think he comes around. I think he'll be all right. Glasnow, if he's healthy, he's a stud, but that's a big if. Um, you know, Kershaw, another big if. I mean, he don't show up in the playoffs anyway. But I mean, you got Muncy, you got Betts. I mean, they got a roster. Of course,
The only thing,
you got the elite better on the team, and
the only
Ohtani.
thing, the only thing I'm not sold on is like I like their batting lineup. Like we saw because we saw what they were working with. Obviously, them already playing 2 games, so we know what they're going to be pushing. The 1 through 5, I like. I like
Oh,
Mookie Betts
absolutely.
starting at 1. You have of course Ohtani starting at number 2, and then you have Freddie Freeman, and then followed by Will Smith, who's a quiet. I like him. He's a quiet catcher in my opinion. He still makes some
Absolutely.
noise, and then you have Max Muncy, and when he's getting going, we know. But 6 through 9, yeah, you have Hernandez. He's solid. I mean, he's decent, but you have Jason Hayward out there, and then the other, you have James Ottman. We don't know much about him, and then Gavin Lux. So I don't know if 6 through 9 are going to put them over the top. I know obviously 1 through 5, but like you mentioned a couple episodes ago, if that 1 through 5 gets cold, I just don't know what the Dodgers are going to be. And this is no shot at the Dodgers, but Ohtani, yes, phenomenal hitter, but so is Aaron Judge, Ronald Acuna Jr., Julio Rodriguez. These guys are great hitters, so it's not like we haven't seen this before. Ohtani's not pitching this year, so like you're taking half of what he does away. Yeah, he's a phenomenal hitter, and I'm not going to say anything bad about him, but he's just a hitter this year. Like, I mean, so if pitching is not there, I know they have Kershaw, which I think they have Kershaw. He's on the IL for 60-day IL. Buehler will be out for a little bit as well, like a very short time. But like you said, Glasnow is there. I'm not a fan. I mean, we'll see what Yamamoto is going to be. It's just a short sample size, 1 game in spring training. But Bobby Miller, James Paxton, Ryan Yarbo. I mean, what are these guys going to do? I mean, we know what Kershaw does in the playoffs, besides COVID year. So it's just, I just feel like they're going to make noise in the regular season, and then it's just going to somewhere it's going to fall in the playoffs. I just don't trust them in the playoffs.
I agree. I mean, it's every time a team stacks up like this, it's gonna fail. Like it's just too much. It's too much talent, and for some reason, it's just not gonna work. But Ohtani, yeah, he's not pitching. I mean, he'll still be doing 2 things. He'll be hitting and betting, so he's still gonna be doing 2 things at once.
And they said he might play a little bit in the outfield too at the end of the season. That's kind of what I forgot. I think it was Aaron Hicks. I think it was Aaron Hicks when he got Tommy John. He came back for the Yankees 1 year and he played in the outfield. You're okay to throw, but you just can't pitch consistently. That's the thing.
I heard that he might play a little bit out there. I doubt they risk it. We'll see. But I mean, another question mark with them is Mookie switching positions. I mean, that was a big change.
Short. He's playing shortstop now. But I saw some guys making predictions that
tried to do the. Go ahead.
Yeah. No. I was just I've seen predictions where guys think that someone might get traded and he might go back to the outfield second base because now we know he can play second, he can play right. So we'll see what he's going to do at shortstop.
Yeah, it was a weird move. I mean, I wasn't expecting it for sure. I saw him try to do the Jeter throw the other day and fail miserably, so that was great. The famous Jeter throw.
Yeah, that's where I had Jeter's cleats as a kid when I played junior leagues before high school, and I had the Jeter cleats. So yeah, that was all over the cleats. Now me, a huge Jeter. I wish I actually just would have seen Jeter live. I never had the opportunity when I was a kid, but I just didn't have the money. And I wanted to go to his retirement when he got his monument out there in center field, but I was in training, so I had missed the opportunity. It just never worked out. I've seen my new guy. I've seen Judge play. 4 times. I've seen him 3 times in Yankee Stadium. Yeah, I've seen 3 times in Yankee Stadium, once in the Philly Stadium. So I've seen Judge, and I'm going to see him this summer too if he plays that game. I've seen him a handful of times. So I'm seeing my now like adult era favorite player play. So
I've seen A-Rod smack one out of Tampa. He crushed a home run in Tampa.
I've seen John Crowley hit a home run in Miami when he was a Marlin. Nice. And that fucking thing sailed over that fountain out there in Miami. And that's a beautiful ballpark too. I don't know if you ever had the opportunity to go. That's actually a beautiful ball field, in my opinion.
Shout out Allen and his Marlins.
Yeah, he's a little upset that the cover's not going to have a Marlin on there. The only guy I could think of would make it is Jazz, but no offense, Jazz ain't one of these 9 guys on the cover sheet yet. Not yet. I mean, he's still electric. Don't get me wrong.
We gave you 10 seconds of Marlins.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see what the Marlins can do this year. I mean, like maybe they're on the track for the sleeper team we're going to do later. But Jake, another team that they have some expectations, and that's the Atlanta Braves. They just can't get past the Philadelphia Phillies in the playoffs. So like they did get Chris Sale, and their pitching seems a lot better for regular season. But the problem is their pitching falls apart in the playoffs. They are led by Max Fried, Charlie Morton, Spencer Strider, and like I said, Chris Sale. That's a pretty good four-man rotation if Sale's healthy, and he's looked good. But dude, this team is just stacked. Their batting lineup is loaded, and I just don't know how you stop. I don't know right now, March 26th, where we're recording, how you stop the Atlanta Braves.
Yeah, I mean, right now, if we're asking who's the best team in baseball on paper, it's absolutely the Braves if healthy. I mean, Strider, I think he's going to be easily top three pitcher this year. They're stacked. Chris Sale, when healthy, and so far in spring has looked absolutely amazing. Looks like a steal of a pickup. Like you said, even towards the bottom of the lineup. I mean, Ozuna, Austin Riley, Michael Harris, Max
Fried had a 2.55 ERA last year.
I know, it's crazy.
I mean, it's just nuts. And like Acuna's the MVP. Acuna's the reigning MVP.
Absolutely. Steals leader by far.
70 plus bags, dude. Like 70. Like he had the long ball and the small ball all working for him. I don't think he's gonna get 70 this year, but I'm expecting 40, 45 stolen bases at least.
Yeah. And they picked up Sean Murphy too, right? From the A's?
I believe Sean Murphy was
from the A's.
I believe Sean Murphy was there last year, if I'm not mistaken, actually. He was there last year. Yeah, he was there last year. He batted 251 and 21 home runs, 68 RBIs, and you know what? For a backup catcher, Travis Denard is not a slouch neither. Yeah, Denard. Yeah, he's not a slouch, dude. Like he is a beast. And Matt Olson, he did replace Freddie Freeman, and that sucks. But Olson had a bad year in his standards, 2022. But last year he stepped it up. Like he came back to his form. So.
Yep.
And Ozzy, I love watching Ozzy play. Ozzy is a freak at second base.
I love watching the Braves play, man. They play fun.
I'm trying to go to a couple games this year too, man. I'm trying to go to a game or two this year, honestly.
I went to a back-to-back game last year in Atlanta, man. Saw a Matt Olson grand slam. Like it was fun. That team's fun to watch for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's just nuts, man. I just don't get it. And this reminds me of the Braves back. I mean, the late 90s, early 2000s. I know it kicked off in the early 90s, but for me, starting to watch baseball, it was late 90s, early 2000s when the Braves were on that playoff run after playoff run, consecutive playoff runs. And I just, like you said, on paper, I don't know how you stop them. Obviously, things come up, teams get hot. Like the Phillies somehow have their number if they can maybe avoid Philly, maybe. But it's just
they're only getting better. Like that World Series win was like, I feel like that was early. It wasn't even supposed to be right then. It was kind of like the Warriors when they won their first one. It was still early. No one expected them to win that title, and they're only getting better from here. Like I think that the Braves are just going to be insane this year.
And if I'm not mistaken, Acuna didn't even play in the World Series. He was hurt. I believe Acuna that's the year he broke his leg, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
he played early. Right. Oh no! I'm sorry. He came back. He came back in like the middle of the season, I believe.
Towards the late.
Yeah. Because he came in. Yeah, I'm sorry. He maybe got hurt in 2020 during COVID, and then he came back in 20. And I was so happy they won that World Series because it was against the Houston Astros. And I just didn't want to see Houston win. But
nobody has anything against the Braves. No one didn't like seeing the Braves win the title. That was like the year when the Cubs won. Like all of America was like, "Go Cubs!"
Yeah, Acuna came back. He played 82 games. I think that's what it was. He came at like the halfway mark that year. He still batted 283, and he had 24 home runs in 82 games and 50. Like
he's a stud.
I mean, yeah, he's honestly, I would say he's a top. I mean, that's an argument with Doc. Top 3 player, top 4 player in MLB. I mean, you can make arguments based on what you want to fit. Like, and he's a good fielder too, so it's not like he's a bad fielder. He plays. He does everything.
Absolutely, man. If we're talking, like position wise, if we're not talking pitchers, I mean, Acuna absolutely top 3.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking about it. He might be 1 or 2. I know a lot of people think Mookie's number 1, but I don't know. I think Acuna's number 1.
I think if I'm drafting a team right now, you got Mookie, you got Acuna, everyone available in the draft. I got the number 1 pick. It's Acuna.
I mean, I would say if Ohtani could pitch, I mean, I would maybe say Ohtani just because he could do both pitch and hit. That's the only reason why, is because you're going to get a dual situation. But if I'm talking pure, like, take away pitching, I'm going to go Acuna. Just
Yeah, me too.
based on that. But only because Ohtani can pitch, that's why I would start. But I'm biased. I'm starting on Aaron Judge. All rise, baby. I mean, he's good. I mean, but no, Acuna's a freak. He really is. He's a stud, man. But and we mentioned Houston, Jake. I have a sneaky feeling that I think the Astros are, I hate to say it, I think they're going to make the World Series.
I thought you were going to say they're going to bomb.
No,
I did not expect you to say they're going to be the World Series. Whoa,
I'm not picking them to be my World Series, but I have that like gut feeling right now. Like I was looking at their team, dude, and like it's either like we say the Braves are loaded, and rightfully so. The Houston Astros are loaded.
Mm-hmm.
They are. They are a loaded team. I think their pitching is not bad. Now that's the only issue, is can they just get together? You have Verlander, Valdez, Javier. I'm so bad with these Spanish guys' names. I fucking hate it. I can't pronounce
Garcia. They got Abreu.
Yeah, or your Kude, whatever his name is, and then they have 2 closers. Now they're going to move Ryan Presley to be the setup man. Josh Hader. It's like hard flying. And then just look at the lineup. Diaz for catcher he's not horrible. Jose Abreu, he's getting older, but he still provides some pop to bat. Obviously, we know what Tuve is going to be if he's healthy. He had some injuries last year. As much as I don't like Jose Tuve, he's a freak, dude. He's a better Dustin Pedroia, in my opinion. He's better than, like, the same height, same size, better than Pedroia. And Pedroia was a dog too.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you, but they're getting older. You had Jordan, who was in and out last year. Altuve was in, out, in, out, in, out. He's not getting any younger.
Played half the season, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I had him on my fantasy team, so I mean, he was in and out, in and out, in and out constantly. If like if you play him back a game, he'd get hurt again. So they're not getting younger. But as you said, they have an absolute stud roster too. But I'm not picking them for World Series. But
I'll never say it. I'll never say it out loud.
Yeah. I think it was just live. I think you just said it.
No, I said I have a gut feeling that they're going to be there, but they're not my World Series prediction. When we do our predictions to close off baseball, they will not. I will never say it.
But Altuve, Bregman, Jordan, I mean, Pena, I mean, they're stacked.
And Bregman had a bounce back year last year too, because he needed
absolutely.
that. 2022 was a struggling season for his standards, and he woke up and I know Chris will be watching this and go Tigers, but that's his thing. He's an LSU guy, so that's why he's an Astros fan. But no, I mean, Bregman literally 262. He only missed 1 game, 25 home runs. I mean, 98 RBIs. He had a good year last year.
And it'll be nasty. You could bring Presley in a little early and have Hader close. Like, there's options there.
They have 2 setup men too. It's also I think Monterio, whatever his name is, he's a setup man as well. So you have 2 setup men, and then even if Hader needs an off day because you don't want to run closers 3 days in a row. Yeah. You just put Presley in there for the 3rd day if you need.
That's what I'm saying. Like they got options. I mean, it could be nice for sure. We know they're going to score their runs. They always do.
Yeah, it's just they are getting older. Like the core guys are getting older, but
yeah,
I don't know, man. Like Pena's pretty young. I don't think Alvarez is that old, honestly. That pitching, Verlander's old, but Verlander just seems like he never slows down. I mean, seeing him back in Houston, I know he struggled a little bit, but they went 7 games in the ALCS, just lost to the Rangers, and that's another. I think the AL West right there. I think even, I think the Mariners can maybe make some noise. I know they had a lot of offseason changeover with like losing guys, but signing guys as well, and I don't know, man. I think the Rangers are going to be – I think the Rangers, too, they're a scary team. If they can just survive the first half without DeGrom and Verlander – or Scherzer, I'm sorry. If DeGrom can stay healthy, we know he's one of the best pitchers in baseball. At least it's been a couple years since we've seen it, but then you have Scherzer in there, and then they did lose Montgomery tonight, who signed with the Arizona Diamondbacks. That's a big signing for them. But I think that the Rangers are a team, Jake. We haven't seen a back-to-back World Series champion since the 99-2000 New York Yankees. It's like football. It's hard. So can the Rangers do it? I mean, they do have Eovaldi out there, John Gray, and Henney. Those are the guys that are going to kind of be carrying the load, and Dunning as well. But can they hold up without Scherzer and DeGrom for the half the season? That's the question.
And I think they can. I mean, baseball is the one weird sport where there's so many games that you can cover for some injuries. I mean, Eovaldi was phenomenal last year. I think they're deep enough to be able to withstand them. But the thing is, how long are they going to have to withstand without them? And when they come back, are they going to get hurt again? So, I mean, yeah, we're saying, at the halfway point, they're going to get these two. Yeah, but what are they getting? Are they going to get the best of them, or are we going to lose them? I mean, it all depends on health. It's same with the Astros. I mean, both these two teams, if healthy, obviously top 3, top 4 in baseball, but it's a lot of ifs. But I mean, I'm not going to pick my World Series favorite right now, but yeah, I have Texas up there pretty high.
Yeah, when we do our World Series predictions, I'm giving you a biased answer, and then I'm giving you a non-biased answer. This is
absolutely me too,
because I still believe in my team, but mine depends on health, and we'll get there. But yeah, I like the Rangers. I think when they got Seager and they got Semien, they weren't good that first year with them, but they figured it out last year.
Oh, Josh Jung was amazing.
Yeah, the pitching was good too.
Yeah,
and you love Bochy. He's got what, four now? I think he had 3 with y'all, and now I don't know if he won before the Giants, but yeah, he's got 3 in the 2010s, and then now with the Rangers, he seems to put teams together, and it works. I mean, when they got him, the team figured it out. I mean, that's what you need. You just need a good manager. But like you said, having Lowe, and you have probably the best the best middle infield with Semien and Seager. Seager batted over 350 or 310 last year or something like that.
No, he was a stud. And they're young. Oh, they're young. I mean, besides their pitchers, they're young. Because like you said, Josh Jung, Jonah Heim, like they're young. They got some studs that are real young.
Garcia broke out too in the playoffs.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
So
that dude can crush a ball.
I'm excited for the Mariners as well. I'm excited for the AL West. Seeing, they were 1 game out of the playoffs last year. The Blue Jays took that last spot. I think the Mariners can maybe be a team. They finally made the playoffs in 2022. Like I said, missed the last year. Julio needs to get back to his last second half form, and he's unfortunately going to have to carry the team. But I kind of like Seattle's chances, not to maybe win the division, but to make some noise in the regular season, maybe make a playoff. Which you should. Please make it.
I think they'll make the playoffs, yeah, but I'm not high on them. I mean, it's basically Julio. I mean, Julio Rodriguez is an absolute stud, but I don't think they're deep enough yet to make noise. I mean, on a normal year, maybe, but with the Dodgers stacked up, Houston stacked up, Texas is stacked up. I mean, they're not going to compete with these elite teams. I don't have them deep enough yet.
Well, I mean, I guess that's kind of the conversation as a sleeper team, because that's what they would be. They'd be a sleeper team. And
yeah,
Jake, I think
I like Logan Gilbert.
Yeah, I mean, I think a sleeper team that was really good last year. They won the AL East. I think they had 101 wins. That's the Baltimore Orioles.
Absolutely.
No one's talking about what I'm listening around the TV and the sports talk shows for baseball. No one's talking about Baltimore, and we're talking young. Like Doc said, they were a team that was not going to win the playoffs because of the inexperience, but now you are experienced. And you do have Jackson Holiday. He's going to start in the AAA. The question is, when he comes up, where's he going to play? Because you have Henderson out there at short, who's a freak. Do you put Holiday at second base? Do you play him at third base? I mean, he's going to come up eventually, and this Orioles team is filthy. In my opinion, I think they're a team that could, to be honest, I'd rather see the Orioles make the World Series than the Astros, and they're in my division.
Absolutely. Hands down.
I mean, I respect the Orioles. I respect it. I have family that are Orioles fans. Like, so I was born in Maryland, so like I have the Orioles. Like, it's like an old time jersey my mom had when I was a kid. She gave it to me, so I'll never wear it, but it'll hang up in my closet just because it's family. Like, I have an old Washington Redskins when they were the Washington Redskins, like Super Bowl like coat, like an actual like thick winter coat. So I mean, I'll collect this shit. But yeah, I like the Orioles. I think the pitching looks good. Added Craig Kimbrell. Like, I mean, he's filthy, and Rutschman's one of the best young catchers in the league too. He's a stud.
And I'm right with you. I got Baltimore winning the division. But also, I just want to stop for 1 second. I do want to give a shout out to Baltimore. We're praying for y'all with the bridge falling today. Definitely anyone that is involved, we're praying for you and the family. But back to baseball. Yes, I am very high on Baltimore this year. Cedric Mullins, you got Craig Kimbrell, Bradish, Gunnar, Adley. They got Corbin Burns now, I believe.
Yeah, from the Brewers, yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah. Very, very high on Baltimore. I like seeing teams like that do well. So I definitely would love to see them take the division this year.
And Kyle Bradish wasn't bad. He had 3.68 ERA last year. I mean, for a younger guy. Yeah, for a younger guy, that's not bad for the Orioles. I mean, and then Burns at a 3.39 ERA. So I mean, like mid threes isn't horrible. I mean, you would maybe want your first starter to be like maybe low threes, but that's not bad for those guys. And like I said, the offense is going to get better. And it's just when does Jackson Holiday, shout out to former, he's a son of, my opinion, a very underrated Matt Holiday, and I think he's got two sons that are actually studs. I can't think of the other kid's name, but yeah, Jackson, when he comes up, it's going to be exciting. And this Orioles team, and I wish Doc's prediction. Well, I don't wish it would have came true because it would have hurt my team, but he was saying that Ohtani should have came to the Orioles. Nah, man, that would have been filthy.
That'd have been nasty.
He said you would have had youth there. You would have had years, a big window with that youth there in Ohtani. And if he defers money, then man, Baltimore would have been set up. But it is what it is. I think them though, Jake. I think the Diamondbacks too. They're a sleeper team. They were in the NL. They were the NL champions last year, and they just got Jordan Montgomery. We'll see what he can do. Feels like he can pitch anywhere but New York. So I mean, I understand New York's tough place to pitch and play, but the Diamondbacks, they're young as well, and they're a sleeper team out there, in my opinion, as well.
Yeah, I like them. They're fun to watch. Like I had Corbin Carroll on my fantasy team last year. He was great. Definitely, like you said, they're young, exciting to watch. They took my boy Jock Peterson from the Giants.
I feel like that man just goes around.
Oh, absolutely. He wasn't a true Giant, but I'm not like sad. I'm not over here crying in the corner.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I still want to see him do well. And Zach Gallen is a beast. So I mean, they definitely got some talent there. I wouldn't mind it for sure. Christian Walker's good.
Their infield is filthy, in my opinion.
Filthy, yeah.
I like Marte and Suarez, and I don't know much about the shortstop, Peteramo, whatever his name is. I don't really know much about him. I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't watching much Arizona baseball last year. This is gonna be good though. Like us doing this podcast, it's like I've been just strictly Yankees baseball only. Like just watch we play. I used to love watching every single team, didn't matter who you were. I'm getting back to that now that I'm out here back in the East Coast. So, and now I was doing this. I have the TV, MLB again. So I'm be watching games. I know that one channel you said, like the Red Zone channel that comes on. It doesn't come on every night, but it's like certain nights it comes on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna pay attention to that as well.
That's what I love about fantasy baseball. Like it gets me into every game. Like it could be a trash match, but I'm there watching it. Like fantasy baseball got me into baseball so hard. Like now I just absolutely love it.
I'm gonna have to get on that next year.
Yeah, it's so fun, man.
But you have any sleeper teams out there? I know I mentioned the Diamondbacks and the Orioles. I have another one that is going to surprise you, but I want to give you an opportunity for one.
Well, mine was the Diamondbacks. I mean, because Orioles I don't really have as a sleeper anymore. Like I had them taking the division, but D-backs was a sleeper team for me. And also, like I don't want to be biased, but like I think my Giants are going to do some damage this year. But obviously that's my bias. But I think we had some great offseason moves. So I think to watch out for the Giants. I think the Dodgers choke and Giants take the division.
Yeah, NL West, man. It's just I still think the Padres can still win it. I know that they've had histories with blowing leads and not live up to potential. But yeah, the four of you guys, obviously the Rockies are the Rockies. They're not
Mm-hmm.
competing. The four of you
They're
guys,
middle of the
Dodgers,
pack.
yeah, Dodgers, Padres, Diamondbacks, Giants. Like it's going to be a tough division in my opinion.
It's going to be fun to watch.
And I think another tough division is the AL East as well. I think both our divisions are tough. Like I think Boston's going to be kind of like an odd man out, kind of like not like as bad as the Rockies, but they're going to be an odd man out.
Boston's going to
The
suck.
the Rays are good. They find ways to win games with not really marquee names. But my sleeper team is the Blue Jays. I really think the Blue Jays have. I think they have talent, dude. I by the way, Whit Merrifield, I saw he went to the Phillies. By the way, that was a good steal. I wanted to mention that, but he was on the Blue Jays. But their pitching can be a little shaky. The Blue Jays. Don't get me wrong. I know Gosman was third in the AL Cy Young, but Barrios, I'm not a huge fan of him. He just can't live to big games. Bassett, and we'll see what kick that. God, I fucking hate. Like I hate guys that aren't. Unfortunately, this is the only sport too. Like the fucking international players have hard ass names. Basketball, they don't have fucking hard ass names for international names in basketball. Like I can say Luka easy. I can say fucking Porzingis easy. I can say Joel Embiid easy. Like I can't say these fucking guys in baseball, man.
Antetokounmpo.
Yeah, but no, like if you look at the actual like batting order, like just look at like the position players for the Blue Jays, right? You have Alejandro Kirk. He's a good catcher, in my opinion. I think he's solid. Vlad, yes, I know we talked about it off air. Vlad had a down year compared to his MVP like year. But though that year last year was similar to the other years in his career besides the AL MVP year, he went back to his normal form. Yeah, he batted at 260s, but he still had good pop and everything. And you know what? Kevin Biggio and Bo Bichetti, I like them. They're good young players up the middle. Yeah, they got IKF. You know, that's the Yankees' former shortstop, Connor Falefa. He's a good fielder. And he can make contact. That's good for him. And I think getting Justin Turner for DH, I like it. He had a good year for the Red Sox last year. It wasn't the Dodgers years, but it was good. And then your outfielders are George Springer.
George Springer is still great.
Yeah, I mean, the left fielder, we'll see what he's going to be. But Kevin Kiermaier and George Springer out there, I think the Blue Jays have potential to be a scary team this year. I really do. And they were good last year for a good part of the year, and then they kind of start stumbling a little bit, and then that's the Orioles kept hot, and the Rays were still the Rays. So I don't know. I like Toronto this year a little bit, man. I'm saying watch out. I'm not saying they win the division, but I think they could pull a Rangers, get in, and maybe make a playoff run.
I'm not with you on that one. I don't think their pitching's deep enough. Like I'm a big believer on like come towards the end of the season playoff team. You gotta have pitching. You gotta have some studs. Like I've been saying it for years with the Yankees. Like I'm like, they got the roster, but you gotta have the pitchers. Like, I've been telling you constantly, like, bro, playoff time, you gotta have the pitchers. You gotta have the pitchers. I just don't think they're deep enough at pitching unless they make a few moves. Then absolutely, like you said, their infield is phenomenal. It's great. I'm all for it. You got Springer in the outfield. Gosman is good for sure, but who's gonna tie on to that? Like I don't. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not high on the Blue Jays.
That's what I'm saying. It's my sleeper team, so like it's not like no one's
absolutely,
absolutely,
yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm. So like that's my true sleeper. Obviously, Arizona. I even though they made the World Series last year, people aren't talking Arizona. I mean, that's just facts. No one's talking Arizona. Now with the Dodgers and the Giants, who got Blake Snell at the end of spring training, and then the Padres being the Padres, so no one's talking Arizona, which they should be, but they just aren't. They don't have they have names, but they're not like the A+ names that you would see like out there, like Aaron Judge or Shohei Ohtani or guys like that. They just don't have anyone like that. They have good players, they're just not big enough yet.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I feel like Toronto should have picked up a few of these at least one of these free agent pitchers. But
remember they were close. They were close to getting Ohtani.
Yeah, true. I think their whole off scene was built around that.
He was on a plane ride to Toronto.
Yeah.
And then never made it.
Ohtani never got on the plane. He was gambling.
Well, Toronto said we can't defer 680 million, dude. You have to take your average now. And he said, well, we'll go to a team that can do it. And he called LA.
Absolute joke.
So, I mean, I guess it's a time, Jake. Is it time to make our World Series prediction?
We can do it.
So I know we each have a bias.
An actual prediction and a bias prediction.
I'll start with the actual prediction.
All right.
My NL will be the same regardless. And for my actual pick, I have the Atlanta Braves. God, I don't want to say Houston. I have the Atlanta Braves over the Baltimore Orioles.
Oh my gosh.
I really think the Orioles are going to make it. I think these young kids are going to learn from their experience last year. I think they're going to wake up. I think Jackson Holliday is going to be in the road. Is going to be on the Orioles at some point in the season. He's going to maybe win Rookie of the Year for the AL. And this young squad is going to go up against the monsters of Atlanta. And the Atlanta Braves are going to win the World Series probably in 5 games. And this will be another learning curve for the Baltimore Orioles and the young squad. I have the Atlanta Braves over the Baltimore Orioles when it's all said and done.
Yeah, that's annoying because that was my exact one too. So I can't even debate it because that's super annoying. I'm like, you just picked mine. I have Baltimore making the World Series. And I would absolutely love it. And I don't see anyone beating the Braves right now. When healthy.
I'm close to saying Houston, but I just can't spit it out. I can't spit it out.
I'm not, but
biasy? You can go first.
Biased. Biased. I got my Giants going to the World Series. Let's be real. We're both going to talk about our teams, but let's be real. My Giants had a great offseason. We finally made some moves. I was talking so much trash about the Giants. Like, we have one of the richest owners, and we couldn't get a free agent to save our freaking our life. Like, we got Arson Judge instead of Aaron Judge when that tweet happened. Like, we're always, Giants are in on this player. I'm so sick of hearing Giants are in on this player. Like, we finally made some freaking moves. I'm loving the offseason. I love the Blake Snell pickup. We got an amazing 1-2 punch with pitching. I think we can make some moves in the playoffs. Watch out for the Giants.
Well, I'll give you my biasy pick, and the ticker says it all. The New York Yankees are getting their 28th World Series. We are. It's going to be against the Atlanta Braves. It's going to be against the Atlanta Braves. The New York Yankees will get 28 this year. Aaron Judge, Juan Soto, and our new left fielder, Alex Verdugo, the best outfielding core in the whole MLB, is going to carry our offense. I think Giancarlo Stanton's going to stay healthy. I think Rizzo was good before his little migraine issue. He'll stay up because the shift doesn't exist much anymore like it used to. It helps him. Gleyber Torres had a good year last year, and I think DJ LeMahieu is going to be a key player once again when he gets back. He's healthy. He's hurt right now, and I bank in that Garrett Cole's not going to have Tommy John surgery. He's only going to miss 1 or 2 months. He's going to lead our rotation with Stroman and Cortez and Carlos Rondon coming back. You're strong, hopefully. The New York Yankees will get that 28th World Series against the Atlanta Braves, and I will be in the game. I will be there at Atlanta when we fucking take the World Series this year. Yankees are winning the World Series, Jake.
I got Giants with a better record than the Yankees. Sign it, deliver it, sealed right now.
You want to make a bet on that? You want to do like a dinner bet? We can do a dinner bet.
Let's do our first all about the balls bet.
All right, that's the first one. Hey, it's official out there. Yankees and Giants. This is the second bet I've made today. One for lunch. I made a lunch bet for the better record of the Falcons and Giants. I have a Giants fan in my office. He said that the Giants are going to have a better record than the Atlanta Falcons. He said the Giants will have 12 wins this year. I told him whatever he's smoking, that's what I need because
Logan Webb, Blake Snell, watch out. Giants are going to have a better record than the Yankees.
Offense will carry us through the regular season, and we will have Cole for the playoffs. Cole will be healthy. I think he'll be good. Gut's telling me no. My heart's telling me yes. But we have our actual predictions.
Dinner bet, right?
Yep, dinner. Well, nothing like we're not going Ruth's Chris.
Yeah,
nothing
no,
like
no,
we'll
no,
go.
no,
We'll
no.
go like a Buffalo Wild Wings, like an Applebee's or some shit.
Absolutely.
Go to a bar and have a couple drinks. I'll buy a couple rounds and a dinner. But yeah,
Absolutely.
our actual World Series predictions we both have the Braves and the Orioles.
And the Orioles.
Braves winning.
Mm-hmm.
So that's our
Braves winning.
So our actual World Series predictions are that, and then we have our World Series biasy picks. Because I really think on paper, if we're healthy, it's not just being. I mean, it probably does sound biased because I'm saying it, but I really think we have a good roster. Our bullpen is loaded. Our bullpen's usually good.
The thing with the Yankees is Cole. Like, we do not know what's going to happen in 2 months. If this turns into Tommy John, Yankees are done. Like,
yeah, dude. I'm a little nervous.
Yeah,
I'm a little nervous.
I mean, I don't want to speculate. I'm nervous as hell. Like, I mean, Cole's been my fantasy pitcher for the last 2 years. I love me some
the question is
Garrett Cole.
How far does he go in fantasy now, too? Like, who takes a chance on him?
Yeah, very true.
He might be a steal.
I mean, hey. Even Ohtani. What if Ohtani gets suspended? Yeah, he can make a PR statement and say he's not guilty. But what if it's being investigated? What if something comes out?
Like Chris said, if he $4.5 million. So we were talking about that in my office too, because I said I had a buddy that said, if you sold $4.5 million, why don't you press on charges? He's like, that's his friend. I was like, well, obviously it wasn't his friend. He sold $4.5 million. He said, if that was your brother, what are you doing? I was like, well, I'm either put my brother in jail or I'm beating the shit out of him. Absolutely. Something's gonna happen. He was like, have you seen? I told him, have you seen Family Guy with Stewie? I want my fucking money.
Yeah, we've talked about that numerous times. But I mean, Ohtani lately. But even after it was found out, he was ha in the dugout with the guy after it was already found out. I'm sorry, but I'm not going to be next to you just laughing up a storm if you just stole $4 million from me. Yeah, and the first report that came out was he paid off a gambling debt for him. Then all of a sudden it was stolen because he can't loan money like that in California.
Well, spokesman close to
it's against the law in California.
Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm. And another thing is, it's just, I get it. You're innocent until proven guilty, but hey, the bookie said that he's a client. So I automatically have to take Ohtani's word for it. I can't trust the bookie because he's a bookie. That makes him shady. I mean, he already got his money. He already got his money. I mean, you think he truly cares now?
All of a sudden, when we're trusting a little PR statement like this, where I just read off my phone, we're going to trust a little PR statement saying I'm not guilty. And okay, so next time I break the law, I'm just going to say, oh, here's my letter. It says I was not involved. And we're just going to trust that? No, absolutely not.
Oh, Jake, you missed it. Last night, I did this with Chris. So, I have my paper right here, and this is our notes. I read a statement that says, I, Mark Davis, have never gambled a day in my life in an illegal state in Washington State and now South Carolina. I've never done it. I never intend on doing it. And it's just wrong. Oh, man, I'm innocent.
See, I believe you. You're innocent. Yep, never happened. Dude. We're good. And
I can say without reading a paper, I can make it up on the fly. I don't need a paper to tell me that. I mean, it's just,
I know.
I don't care that he gambled. It's to me, I don't care if it's illegal in California. I don't care that he gambled. It's the fact that it's just everything seemed fishy. It seemed fishy with the story changing. His interpreter did a 90-minute interview, and then it changed 10 minutes later. The spokesman close to him said that they're on there. You have the bookie that said he's a client, which means he's an active client. He's not a guy that helped the client. He's a client. Both of them were clients. And then you didn't investigate right away. The MLB took 3 or 4 days to investigate. So I get it. He's your biggest star. When it comes to money, he is the biggest attraction in the Major League Baseball Association. But if Pete Rose, Pete Rose admitted to it. Now, I think Pete Rose admitted to it because maybe he only admitted for 3 years of it, so maybe he was just trying to cover up how long he truly did it. He said he did it from 85 to 87, and he took the ban. I think he did that so they wouldn't see how far back it went.
Just stopped investigating at that point, yeah. I mean, he could have been doing it longer. I mean, but I love what Pete Rose said. If I had an interpreter, I wouldn't be guilty right now.
That man was probably sauced up that night that he said that.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Well, let's get to a debate because I know we were arguing about this. That's enough baseball for right now. We did most of it. We still got to get a little NFL because the owners' meeting is going on. There's been some rule changes. And I know you and Alan pushed back on the kickoff rule. I'm actually excited for it. I really am. I think it is going to bring back kickoffs. It might not be the same excitement where you have guys running 100 miles per hour down speed, downhill, about to kill each other. Like Shannon Sharp said, like a lot of guys, they get a job that way because it shows that what you can do there, and then it gets you a look maybe later on to make some plays in practice. But I like it because it's better than 95% of the kicks already being touchbacks, because we're not going to get a lot of touchbacks. I get it. The 30 is not a big deal, but starting from the 20, like, they didn't like starting at the 20 to the 25 when it changed, and now you're going to the 30. That's still key. Those 5 yards are actually important. So now you're forcing the guys to, I think, return the kick. I really do. I think it's going to bring a little excitement back.
I mean, yeah, but like these kickers nowadays, like it's still going to be a touchback. Like, I mean, maybe they'll stop and try to prevent it from not being, so that way it's not at the 30. But I don't think it's going to make any difference. The kick return's still going to be pretty pointless. But I mean, like, I know you're excited. It feels like NFL teams are excited because, I mean, only 3 teams didn't want it, and you're starting to see these players that are kick returns being signed like today. Like right away, Cordarrelle Patterson got signed because obviously he's an elite kick returner, and this opens that door for him to be elite again, even at his age. So like some of these moves that we're seeing will be for this, but it does take out a lot of the, what we're used to, the normal kick return. Like I'm not excited. I'm not a fan at all. I don't want it, but
we haven't seen a normal kickoff return since they brought it to the 35. Honestly, we haven't. It's been majority I think they said there was 13 kickoffs last year in the Super Bowl, right? 0 returns in the Super Bowl. 0. So like we weren't getting kickoffs. We weren't getting returns as it was anyways.
So yeah, and NFL's saying they're doing it to prevent injuries. I mean, we're still gonna have the punt return. We're gonna have the same injuries, right? I mean, yes, we could fix the kick return. We're still gonna have the punt return, have the same injuries when they're just ignoring the fact that the real thing is the turf. Like you want to fix injuries, fix the field.
Well, the owners don't believe in that. They don't believe in that study.
Yeah, because it costs money. Like
because it's we had this conversation in my office. It's not just the NFL. So like when they have, you could do concerts on natural grass, but you have concerts and other shows that go out there. So like I get why they don't want it. I just think it sucks because it's football. Football's half the year. Concerts, you don't have concerts. I don't know the numbers, but I don't believe you have that many concerts in a stadium every single year. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. I just don't.
I don't pay attention either. But I mean, maybe they make a ton of money from these other shows, like you said. Like I never thought about that concept, but you got to think about your players. Like your team should be first. Like you own that team. You own, like you should be worried about the players on the field. You're always saying you're worried about preventing injuries. Okay, that's one of the leading causes that everyone wants gone. Like, I mean, we saw 30 seconds of Rodgers because of stupid field. Like I want to see him play all year. I'd rather beat the hell out of him on the field than see him hurt.
And the Bengals and the Bengals are going to do it with theirs, and then you have Joe Burrow, who's got. I mean, come on.
I mean, yeah, and you have these injury-prone players that are on these rosters with the turf. Like it blows my mind.
Yeah, it's not like you drafted Joe Burrow and you already had this field. It's like, hey, you saw Joe Burrow tear his ACL in 2020, and we're gonna say, oh, let's add turf a few years later. Fuck it. Oh my god, damn, dude. I'm Joe Burrow.
Yeah, so I mean, I understand why they changed it. They wanted to prevent injuries, and they wanted to have some actual kick returns. So yes, I'm against it. Yeah, I don't like it. But if this does bring some excitement and some kick returns, then we'll see what happens.
I love everyone's like, but it takes out a key factor, the surprise onside kick. I'm like, well, how often do you see a surprise onside kick? Let's be honest. We don't see that shit often. Don't sit there and try and use that as a reason we should keep it.
Onsides never work anymore, so I'm not worried about that part of it because, I mean, it's pointless now. The way that they have the onside set up, it never works.
Unless you get Young Hoku, who can put that little helicopter spin on it. Like, he somehow does it. He does it pretty good. But, I mean, it's just like when they said, well, it takes away the surprise. And like I said, we don't get much. I know Pat McAfee was good at it. I know the Saints did it in the Super Bowl against the Colts years ago. But you don't get that, like, on a weekly basis. You might get that a few times a year. Most time when you're doing an onside kick, you already know it's coming because you need it to happen. It's just, but I'm excited. I think that's one of the good things XFL did. Now, this is another one I don't know if they're ever going to look at, but those 1.2, 3-point conversion tries, that's actually exciting a little bit, in my opinion. Don't think we're going to get it, but that does take away
I
the
don't
kicker
think
and
so.
extra points. But it's kind of like a street, like NFL street, like football. Like that's the way it reminds me of. Not XFL. XFL does it, but yeah, I don't know. I like the kickoff though. I think it's going to be good when it's all said and done.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, obviously it's done. It's happening. So you got to get
Because
over
it limits
it.
a fair catch. There's no more fair catch on a kickoff. It takes away the college element. If it goes in that landing zone, you have to return it. If it goes anywhere from the beginning of the end zone to the 20-yard line, you have to return the kick. So like,
yeah, I mean, we'll have more returns, and I mean, we'll see. I mean, hell, let's see what Debo can do back there without players having to run and start. And you never know. But
yeah,
right now, yeah,
I mean, I was
hate it.
looking at a lot of videos. It looks like the players get to like the 30-35 typically, unless they break one deep.
Yeah, it looked like they were getting hit right at the 30, so basically almost where it would be if it was, touchback.
Yeah, but no, I'm excited. I'm excited, Jake. I mean, I'm also excited. Easter weekend this weekend, man. I can't wait to get it going. I'm going to be in Florida. We're going to catch up. We have a wedding this Saturday to attend.
Yeah, for sure.
Didn't know if you were actually going. I know you were questionable.
No, I'm going. I'll be there.
Yep, I'll be there as well. We'll be there about 4:15, 4:30, and we'll be nice and drunk at the reception.
I'll say we'll get white girl wasted.
I have the Tesla, so the Tesla will get me home. I have Tony's Tesla. I told him I was like, I need a smart car just in case.
Yeah.
In case I go hands free and I can just yank the wheel every now and then. I
got the wife, so she can drive.
I'm excited. And, shout out to Miranda and Josh. They've been together almost, I think, 10 years. I mean, it's been around 10 years this time frame because.
Yeah, me and Jen are like around like 8, 9.
Well, y'all were a secret. Y'all were a secret.
I'm saying like all together though, it's been like 8, 9 years. Yeah, they got to be like 10, right?
Yeah, because they were right before y'all, I believe. Yeah, they were right before y'all, and then, man, that was a good time. That was a crew, man. That was a fun couple years at McDonald's.
Good times,
in my opinion.
Good times.
Yeah, I had a good time. Yeah, I think I was actually there when Miranda and Josh first came out. We were at, I think, Avery's house. He used to work there too, and we were at his house one night. That's when I was back with the baby mama who accused me of being the dad. So we'll keep that for off air. Everyone knows it that's in this group. But yeah, that was a time. That was a fun. Right before I joined the military, it was about a year and a half, or about a year, almost 2 years before I joined the military. So
where it all began.
Yeah, but no, great episode, Jake. I know I'll see you Saturday, but everyone that's listening out there, like I said, you'll see the ticker down here. Just follow us, subscribe to us, share us, man. Anything you guys want to see, let us know. I mean, we can only get better with your guys' opinion, and we learn better from that. So, like I said, anything you want to see, we have the draft coming up soon. Baseball's coming in full force. We still have the NBA. I know we didn't talk this week about NBA. Not much really happened, but stay tuned because it's going to start heating up with the playoff push coming. The Warriors just did beat the Miami Heat pretty bad, so I guess we can't help the Rockets make that push. So sorry, Houston. Jake's team
Butler hasn't shown up yet.
No. Yeah, we were talking about that in the office. They said
not playoff time yet.
Yeah, we're talking about like how good like Spoelstra as a coach. I'm like, well, we don't have true superstars. Jimmy's a superstar in the playoffs, but regular season he's an all-star, and then he wakes up and then he has to go like Superman on there and whatnot. God, we had a good argument today about like it was about basketball and football. It was about like if a quarterback throws 400 yards, right, has 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, 85 completion percentage, and then the other quarterback, like a Jimmy G, when the year y'all went to the Super Bowl where he barely throws the ball, has 125 yards. They said he was a better player that game if he wins. I'm like, no, team was better. He was
better team. Absolutely, yeah.
He was a better winner because his team won, but he wasn't a better player. Like just like the LeBron years. You can say you can say it. LeBron was the best player on that court the years he lost to the Warriors. Every year he lost. Every year he played the Warriors, he was the best player on the court.
Yeah, there was arguments of if the losing team should get MVP because he was the best player on the court.
I don't think he should get MVP because you didn't.
Me either.
I
I'm
agree
saying,
with that.
but everyone was arguing that because they thought he was the best player on the court. Absolutely.
But he was the best. I was averaging triple-double every single finals, even when they were playing against Kevin Durant. Yeah. That's phenomenal. I mean, you're the best player. You just want the best team. It's a team game. This isn't golf and tennis. I mean, even golf, you have a caddy, but I mean, this isn't golf and tennis where it's a solo sport. It's only you versus everybody else.
Mhm.
But no, I was heated for that conversation today because I was like, you guys are fucking sounding like you guys don't know what you're talking about. But no, Jake, great episode. Everyone that's listening, I hope you guys have a great Easter. I don't think we're going to be here the rest of the week. I think we're going to start off strong next week. We are going to do a draft expectation video. That might be the first episode back when we get back from Easter break. So, Jake, can't wait to see you Saturday. Shout out to the rest of the All About the Balls podcast family members, and good luck to every team and your fan bases out there for Major League Baseball. But go New York, baby. Go Yankees. That's all that matters is go Yankees.
Yep, and I agree. Everyone have a great Easter. As Mark said, you see all of our handles down at the bottom. If you guys want anything brought up on any episode, about any sport, anything, hit us up on there. We'll definitely talk about it. We'll bring it up. Definitely looking for suggestions. Whatever you guys want to hear, let us know. But also, go Giants.
Yeah, that does it for this episode. I'm Mark Davis. That's Jake Winnikine. This is All About the Balls podcast. Happy Easter. We are out. Thank you for checking out another episode of All About the Balls podcast. We want to thank all of our listeners and supporters of the Sack House. You can listen to the show on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. And don't forget to subscribe and give us a follow on Twitter and Instagram at the Sack House.